March 21st, 2020. Hi, my name's Tom Yakopin, and this is the Tom Yakopin podcast. It's our 10-minute segment we're calling Yakopinions. Welcome. So today I'm on my Corona lockdown, right? It is Saturday. It's been, at or about a week of social distancing and pretty much avoiding large groups of people, staying out of my office, doing a little of this and a little of that, but, pretty much remaining by myself, which, by the way, a good recommendation for people, if you get a chance, and I was thinking of doing a podcast on the ill effects of isolation, you may want to consider planning some activities with family, friends, especially the elderly or infirmed, maybe considering doing some phone calls, some Skyping. We were talking as a family about doing an online webinar kind of thing where people dial in and we can see their faces and have a chat because, there are many notable ill effects, by the way, of isolation and loneliness that can trigger people prone to mental illness, depression. There are even physiological challenges that result from isolation, including aging, blood pressure issues, on and on. So just a shout out to people, do your level best to entertain your mind, read, communicate, avoid being isolated as much as possible. Reach out to people that you love, people that make you laugh, There's a lot of things that aren't banned, right, during this quarantine or lockdown or social distancing, whatever we want to call it. But at any rate, my topic today is not that. My topic today is this. I had a meaningful discussion with a dear friend of mine yesterday from the music business who came by to visit. And one of the things that I always delight about this gentleman, his first name's Hollis, is often we will travel places, and usually I'm in the car with him for a prolonged period of time. And one of the things that I delight in the most is the conversations that we have, although he's a fantastic producer, musician as well. But we were talking about a major shift that he brought to my attention yesterday, that he can't help feeling like a premise or a precedent has been set that is perhaps very concerning for liberty-loving people everywhere, not just in the United States of America, but all around the globe. And that is what we're witnessing right now is media and the state, political leaders, essentially shutting down nations, cities, towns, businesses, etc., for fear of what might happen due to a virus that we can't see, taste, smell, or quantify for ourselves in many ways. And that brings me to my discussion today, and that is the business of fear. And I don't want to promote fear. I don't want to promote conspiracy thinking, although it is a well-known fact that fear as a tool has been used by herd managers, right? Political leaders, princes, governors, kings, for centuries. All right. It is a well-known fact dating back to, the writings of Machiavelli, the prince, for example. He goes into aspects of, is it better to be liked or to be feared as a prince or leader? And interestingly enough, he concluded that fear is a better method of managing the herd. But, following the catastrophe with the Twin Towers in New York City many years ago, the United States of America and many in the world set out in an attempt to wage war on terror. And you remember the Bush administration at that time when you and I and most thinking people were very concerned about the safety and security of our great nation, as well as our loved ones, we actually entered into a form of agreement with our government and military, which has really resulted in a long and protracted, expensive and costly war on terror. And for the first time in human history, many thinkers that I'm aware of said this is a major issue and a problem, because terror isn't an army or an organization or a nation or a state. It is a philosophy or a feeling or an emotion, terror. And thus, by coining that phrase and gaining momentum to raise the funds necessary and to equip men and women to wage war around the globe on terror, the military-industrial complex and those that profit from war and conquest can basically call the shots ad infinitum. And frankly, we have been in skirmishes and conflicts around the globe since that day to this day. Okay, and I predict a very real possibility that this that the response to the coronavirus has set now a precedent, has laid a premise for an ongoing call of fear, utilizing global organizations such as the World Health Organization, national organizations such as the CDC, the media, etc. And my concern, I'd love to hear from you on this. My concerns are that surely there comes a point when the stripping of civil liberties from within the state become a greater existential threat to national security than external forces and actors, including a virus itself. For example, there are those who say, when you look at the actual numbers of those infected, the deaths resulting from infection, they're minuscule in comparison with previous epidemics, including just the typical flu season. And you know what? They're right. In a very real way, they're right. You and I today are hunkering down, being told we're doing the right thing to mitigate the risk of what might happen. But it is really the fear of that, and then the social shaming that comes with it, if you question the benefits analysis, the pros and cons of, am I doing the right thing by obeying authorities, or are in fact those authorities overreaching and reacting in a knee-jerk response to that which we really have not yet fully quantified as being an enemy worthy of the response and the respect that we're giving it? I don't know. Interesting thoughts, though. Fear. But I will say this, that according to cognitive psychologist and economist Robin Hogarth, by creating a state of emergency in our psyche, fear distracts us from the relevant facts on which we should base our conscious decisions. And that is my concern today. I'm wondering if you and I are actually making our best decision in light of what is being called a potential global pandemic that could literally change life for many in this country or around the world. Your thoughts are welcomed. My name's Tom Yakopin. This is the Tom Yakopin Podcast. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.